All right, guys. Hey, what's up? It's the Panic Bros. It's only me, Josue. My partner Simon is not here. He's in Portland. But this is Simon for today. This is I'm kidding.
Where's Simon? Simon's here.
I'm usually joined by somebody for these podcasts, but it's all good. It's just me for today. It's all fine. I can do it. I'm a big boy, big man.
Hey.
So I'm here joined today by Dwayne from C1 Comics.
Yes.
I just have a really big question first off. Where did that name come from? Like, what is this C1? That's like a...
Ed? Where did C1 come from?
Oh, we have another guest here, right?
I'm Ed. For C1 Comics, they'll just come busting in. Well, C1 Comics, the idea is that I'm crazy, as you can see from my glasses. I like to collaborate. So the idea was I was sitting drawing in my house by myself with my brother. And I said, I wish people could get together and make comics. So when we got together, I said, let's do Creative One. So it's like the Musketeers, all for one and one for all. So that's where it came from.
There we go.
Bye.
Let's go.
He'll make a guest appearance at some point.
Right.
If you have a question I can't answer, then when I look this way, I'm looking to it.
No, but yeah, so tell me a little bit more about C1 Comics. I would love to hear more about you guys and like just for the audiences out there as well listening in.
Well, basically the audience, C1 Comics is like a collection, it's a collective of artists here, Bronx-based and, elsewhere that we've all come together. Basically, we all love the medium comics and we just came all together to create diverse stories for the public. So, and we have all ages books, we have basically books for older audiences. So basically it's just like, it's a bunch of artists that really, really love the medium comics and we want to tell our own stories and share that with the public. So It's just, so basically it's like, that's what we're doing. We're pushing forth and we have different characters. We have superheroes, we have basically more grounded characters. It's a rich, diverse universe that's being created. I know even we have some cosmic type stuff going on, which is really, really wacky. So kind of like Secret Wars and stuff like that.
Woo!
So
okay.
So that's
Good name drop.
Yeah, that's
just so you get the idea of what it is we're doing. So I'm the artist of Soul Thunder, which will be dropping in a few months. So basically, Soul Thunder's story of basically the kind of a pseudo take on the whole Spider-Man thing where with great power comes great responsibility. And what happens when you put a mighty hammer of power in the hands of someone who trying to figure out their own way in life and how do they manage that great expectation and responsibility that comes with that. So this is basically an all ages book and it was really fun working on. So I just finished coloring the cover, so now we're ready to get it out there.
Hey, I'm sure. So tell me about some of your biggest inspirations growing up. Like I know, is your art influenced some way, shape, or form by something or like any artist growing up?
Wow, I mean, I can't say it is one distinct art. I'd probably say it's an amalgamation. Because I grew up, let me see, during my time, when I was growing up comics, I admired Jim Lee, Travis Charest, just countless. Frank Wiley, he's one of my favorite artists right now. And so and it's like countless. You have Chris Marcello, Joe Madureira. So it's just, basically, I guess it's an amalgamation of all those styles that just help guide me because every artist you see that they do something in particular that you can pull from and you can apply that to your own work. And whether that is physical, whether that's technique or just the way they tell a story or the way they're able to compose a scene, it's like you can always learn something from those sources, so to speak. So I would say there's probably not, I guess I would say if anybody that I quote unquote love was Jim Lee. And I guess maybe you can see some of that influence in my work, maybe you can. So, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
But I guess if anybody you going to emulate, he would be the dude to emulate. So, but I just love the comic medium, man. what that brings. Like right now, Trad Moore, he's like an artist that he's doing some really, really nice cartoony stuff. And I'm like, oh wow, you know what? I want to try to do some nice cartoony stuff now. I don't know if I'll be successful in that, but
hey,
exactly, it's worth a try.
You never know. You never know.
Exactly. Yes, you're exactly right. So it's just a matter of just seeing what, you know. Yeah. Like I said, it's just looking at basically figuring out what appeals to you, and then little things that you pull from that. So I wouldn't say that one influence is definitely influence. I guess one artist is an influence on me, but I just love comics, and you know, and one minute I'm like, I really like this dude. I really like what this dude does. So that's the fun part. It's so diverse that you can just, and it's so expansive that it's just like, oh, the medium, you just absorb from it and just go from there. So I would say I have a bunch of influences to condense it.
That's the best answer that could possibly be. I feel like there's no, as an artist, because I'm an artist myself, and you know, there's never, I'm a photographer on the side, so it's a little bit, it's a different medium, I'd say, and also obviously a podcaster.
It's funny because a friend of mine, he's gotten in photography, and because I remember in high school, I was forced to take it for a major, and I despised it. I had an awful teacher, I despised it. I was like, oh, photography is just.
You want to give a teacher a shout out right now? You want to?
Mr. Gardner, if he's still alive. I don't know if he's still alive, because he was pretty old, man. So I don't know if he's still with us.
Oh,
so
stop.
this could be a post-mortem shout-out. That
No,
we're doing right
my
now.
God.
So
This got dark.
So yeah, it got real dark. So hopefully that's not the case.
Oh, God. No, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So-
we had to take it down in dark term. Now we're going to bring it back to the light.
Yeah, okay, so like everyone has their way of like practicing the medium. Like how many hours would you put a day into practicing this art, into practicing what you do?
Wow, it could really vary. Sometimes it might be 8 hours a day, then sometimes, you know what, you might be working and then come home, I might only be able to focus maybe 1 or 2 hours into it. So I think the key is just that, just keep focusing on it. And also not just through quote unquote physical practice, just through observation also.
Right.
Because I felt that was a huge, and it's like even with you and your photography, you know, you may not have your camera in hand taking shots every 5 minutes, but you can look at a scene, or you look at the scenery, you know, around you and be like, oh wow, you know what? That makes for a really, really good shot.
Yeah, of course.
So, and like I was saying, a friend of mine, he's gotten in photography, and I see where his mind is probably to the point where it's just not click, click, click. It's more, oh, you know, you're more observational, and you see like, oh, that can make a good shot, and that makes a good shot. So it's like, and even when it comes to drawing, you know, even though I may not draw today, I may see something where I'm like, oh, okay, I see how the structure of something, whether it's a truck or a car, you see how that works. And right there, it's like, oh, you know what, you're creating that visual memory in your head where, oh, you know, when I do have to draw it, you know how the basic composition works.
Right.
So, and I remember there was like a year, I think there was like, when I first graduated from college, there was like a year where I did not draw. I didn't pick up the pencil.
Wow.
Or what have you, but I still observed. And through that observation, and maybe I might have doodled here and there, but I didn't really do any huge work. The next year later, when I started drawing again, I was like, oh, you know, I had a better understanding of how things actually works. And from there, it helped me become a better artist. And I was like, wow, you know, because you constantly hear, especially when it comes to artists, oh, you have to draw every day, draw every day, draw every day.
Right.
And while, yes, you should do that, it's not necessarily the most mandatory thing, because you know what? There are times where you might not be able to.
Yeah.
Or, you know what? Or maybe there is a quote-unquote lack of motivation. Maybe you hit that dead-end wall.
Right.
But here's a different way where, you can do something to help you become a better artist.
Of course.
You know, better artist, better photographer, you know, what have you.
So let me ask you a question, because like you said that for a year you weren't even picking up a pen, right? So like for me, when I first started the Panic Bros with my best friend Simon, it wasn't like the idea was just like that.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like, oh my God, this is my passion, and I know. Like it was something that developed over time. It was something that, like gaming and just like literally everything in nerd culture, comics, anime, everything. I love everything. How could I express that? Like it was just one, like it was something that developed over time that I realized, oh my God, this is my passion. At the end of the day, let's say when I'm tired and I'm done hanging out with people, like I need my mental break. What I fell back on was that, and I realized, oh my God, this is like low-key my passion.
Yeah.
Was there like something that happened to you like that, where like was there ever a moment, or a series of moments maybe, that kind of led to you? I got loud. Was there like
that came out of nowhere?
Yeah. Was there like a series of moments that made you finally realize that, like, hey, this is it? Like.
There actually is. That's actually a really, really good question. I remember when I was young, and I was trying to figure out what high school I was going to go to, and and it was funny. I had no direction.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, where am I going to go? Now we have to make this decision. And then I went through the high school directory, and I saw Art and Design High School.
Hey, I was gonna like. I have a history with art and design. My brother, shout out to my brother, went to art and design, and I got accepted, and LaGuardia, and then I ended up choosing Bronx Science. I don't know why.
That's interesting.
But you go on. I was gonna guess.
We're gonna have to go to that story of how
I was gonna guess. Art and design, by the way, for anybody who's listening to this and watching this who isn't from New York, is a premier high school in New York City for anyone who's interested in art and design. And people who go to this high school are granted the privilege of like having a booth at Comic-Con, right?
Yeah, they started doing that. They wasn't doing it. They didn't do that when I was in high school.
Oh, they played you.
Yeah,
they played you.
I was completely locked out of that one.
Oh, they played you.
I'm still a bit salty about that one, but it's okay, art and design.
That's hilarious.
So it was funny. So I remember when it came to high schools, I was flipping through the right, and I saw art and design high school, and I was like,
yo,
I draw. So you know what, maybe I should do this. And then also I didn't realize just how intensive the process was, where it's like, oh, you need to have a portfolio, and you have to present that. So I was like, okay, so I had to learn on the fly how to exactly put these elements together. And, luckily, I was accepted. And right there, that's where it really formulated my steps. And again, I would say another critical point was when I was graduating from high school. I was like, well, what college am I going to go to? And I remember a teacher in my cartooning class, Mr. Frank, he said...
Shout out to Mr. Frank?
Shout out to Mr. Frank.
Not Mr.
Not Mr. Gardner. Not Mr. Gardner. No. We're not talking about Mr. Gardner.
Yeah.
So he was like, I think he was the one who mentioned School of Visual Arts. And I was like, School of Visual Arts? And so I decided to, hey, let me check that out.
Oh,
and right there, it continued the process.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So tell me about the formation of C1 Comics. Were you there when it first started?
No. I was brought into the process through, it was actually at it was at Comic-Con about a couple of years ago. And I had a friend from high school, Rodney, who he was like, oh, I want you to meet, they, C1 Comics, they had a booth at the Comic-Con, and a friend of mine, Rodney, he knows one of the co-creators, Gary Camp, of C1 Comics. And so he was like, oh, I want to introduce the two of you. So,
right.
So he introduced it, so I went over to the table, and it was funny because my friend Rodney, he knew another friend of mine from college, and so they was playing this whole hide and seek game, like, oh, we're here. And then when we finally linked up, it was at the C1 Comics booth. And so that's where I met and got acquainted with the C1 Comics, people, Ed, Gary, what have you. And after that, it probably was like maybe a year later that we finally sit down and start deciding to collaborate on Soul Thunder. So...
Okay, now you got to talk about Soul Thunder. You got to talk about Soul Thunder. I love the name. The name.
Well, basically, again, like I said earlier, it's basically what happens with great power comes great responsibility. So what happens where you have basically someone who's young acquire a tremendous amount of power, and this power comes from a mystical hammer that he's found worthy of lifting. Now, yes, it doesn't sound like Thor. It does sound like Thor, but
Thor: Love and Thunder, anyway.
yes, exactly. So, but at the exact same time, we expand upon just, you know, if you have flaws, how do you grow as a person, even though you can be seduced by element of power? So, Quasar, our main character, he's the one that comes across this hammer, and he comes across the hammer with his brother, and now with this, with this acquisition of power, how does it affects their dynamic, and not in the best way. So basically, it turns them against each other, where the brother who isn't found worthy is now trying to acquire that hammer. So the first issue is basically a little spotlight issue where it starts out as a tabloid talk show where Quasar's being interviewed, and basically we're piecing together whether this myth of Soul Thunder is real or is fake. So it's a great introduction to the character where we do introduce the elements of great power, the brotherly conflict, and we move forward from there. So it was a really fun story to work on. I really enjoyed it.
I need to pick this up.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're gonna wrap this up in a little bit, but I would love for you to just one. You know what? Let me ask you first.
Sure.
What's the future for you? What's the future looking like for you? What's the goal?
Oh, the future, wow. Basically, it's for me to, I guess, quote unquote, get my name out there and really, because I have a personal series that I'm working on, comic series called The Forerunner's Call. So I really want to
say that one more time?
The Forerunner's Call. So
you heard it here, guys.
You heard it here. Yes,
Support.
Yes. So basically, that's a story. It's a story that it's from a script I wrote in college. That finally I self-published it. So now I really want to get that story out there. So I guess it's just continue expanding the medium of comics and just see where things go forth from there. So I guess I just want to constantly progress as an artist and just share my work, so to speak. So that's what the future holds, and we'll see what doors that opens or what have you. So it's just basically get everything out there.
So I would love to ask you for 3 tips.
Yes.
The first tip: give us some advice on being an artist. Something that really stuck out to you growing up, starting this craft, working on it, like perfecting it. Something. Give me something.
Work at your craft. And when I say work at your craft, whether you're physically capable of doing it, if you're not physically capable of doing it, mentally focus on your craft. So keep the wheels churning, so to speak. And that's the first step that I would give. Just pursue it, because that's the first step. Because if you don't pursue it, how will you ever get to quote unquote step 2? And like I said, whether you want to draw every day, that's great. Carry a sketchbook on you. Whether you do photography, you know what? Could you learn composition, look at what makes a great scene, and again, practice your craft. And then also do research too. So look at other artists, how they handle things. And you know what? You can find motivation to do that also.
So second thing I want to ask you, advice on getting into the comic industry and what to do once you're finally in it.
I would say the first step is make comics. So that's the first step.
I hope that's an obvious one.
Make comics, get acquainted with the medium, learn storytelling, learn composition and design, learn what makes a good scene, and then also practice your drawing. You have to really know how anatomy works and learn how to draw backgrounds. You just have to, like I said, my key advice to just make comics, and then everything will work itself out. And then once you've made comics and you're in the door, make sure you're a professional. Make sure you're able to put out a product consistently, and again, just continue to make comics and just have a professional attitude where, you know, those who want to work with you know you're reliable. So reliability is the key.
And 3, you mentioned in the end self-publishing.
Yeah.
Talk about that a little bit. Give us some advice on that.
Self-publishing, I mean, it's relatively, it's not as complicated as it sounds. Mm-hmm. So they have print-on-demand sites, and if you have a book that you want to if you have a book that you want published, just do a little Google search and look for print-on-demand sites. And right there, you can have your book printed up. Not that expensive, and you just go from there.
Dwayne, everybody, thank you so much. And before I even end the video, just shout out to Rosa from Collaborative Conscious. Follow her on Instagram. Put it like right here somewhere. I don't know.
Yes.
For putting this event together, for allowing me the opportunity to talk to you and meet you and get to know you a bit better. And the Bannock Bros to just be here and just have a good time and have a couple of drinks and just we out here. We're out here.
Bannock Bros for having me.
Thank you for being here, man. Honestly, thank you so much, Dwayne. And I'm gonna link here for everything involving C1 Comics and Dwayne.
Yes.
Make sure to support, follow, like, anything you gotta do, subscribe. You have a YouTube channel?
I don't have a YouTube channel, but what you can do is you can check out my work on Instagram at classic_Dwayne V. That's my Twitter handle
Somewhere
also.
Here. Yeah.
And then also, if you want to see more of my work, you can go to my portfolio site, vdwayne.deviantart.com, and behance.net/vdwayne. So that's where you can check out more of my stuff if you're interested. So hopefully I've made you interested. So check it out.
You have. You made me interested. So, guys, thank you so much. Until next time, take care. Thank you so much for listening.
Where's Simon? Where's Simon?